In this video, we are going to learn what is a content modifier and how to configure that content modifier in SAP CPI. So this is a parallel function package. Here I am going to add a new iFlow with the name content modifier. Before starting into this topic, how to configure and what is content modifier, let's briefly understand how the data transfer happens. Okay, so basically, whenever the data is transferred between two applications over the internet. So it consists of it is so it will have header, body. Okay, so basically where the body uh, stores the metadata of the metadata, and where the body stores the actual message. So what is the metadata like? Metadata like date, content type, okay, from ID or to ID or message ID, etc. Okay, the actual message can be like text, XML, HTML, PDF, like attachments, images, videos, etc. Okay, so this is how the data will be transferred between the two applications, like header and body. The message will be having header and body. In that header, mainly for metadata, it stores the metadata, and body we have the actual data. Okay, like for example, when you are going to send an email, okay, so email you are sending from email ID, okay, to email ID, and you will be writing the subject, and in the body you will be writing, and if there is an attachment you will be giving the attachment. Okay, so when you are writing an email to another one, so you will be having basic these details. Okay, so how that data will be transferred from one email id to another email id. Okay, so for example, so this is the email got from SAP India. Okay, so this is how it look like at the front end. So when you go for the back end, when I click the original message, show original, you can see this is how the original message looks like. Okay, you can see here, you can see delivered to. Okay, here you can see delivered to, received by. Okay, so these all header parameters. Header parameters. Okay, these all metadata related. Means this is not an actual message, but the content. Like here you can see reply to subject SAP, content type, multi-part alternate, message ID. These all are the headers. Okay. Here you can see the message how it is looking like this one. Okay, this one. So how, as a backend, how it is an converted in the, see, this is a base 64 encoded text. Okay, text underscore html. So this is the body. So this is how the basically the data transfer happens, data transfer between two applications. Okay, header and body. Now come back to the content modifier. So what does content modifier do? Okay, whenever we get the data from the source system, so if you want to modify the data, the original content need to be modified. Okay, if you want to change the header parameters, so if you want to create the new header parameters, modify and manage the message content which you are receiving from source system, so for that, to modify the data, to create the new header parameters, we are going to use the content modifier. Okay, so this is a content modifier. Basically we have content modifier as a four tabs. You can see general, message header, exchange property, message body. Here you can see there is an additional one which has been discussed previously. Like when your data is transferred from one application to another application, will basically have header and body. But there is an additional parameter here, the property, exchange property. So what does this do? So basically this exchange parameter, property parameter, uh, will be available in the iflow only. Means it will be present in iflow only. So this won't be going to, so yeah. So suppose this is a source system. Suppose this is a source system where we are we are sending the data to the SAP CPI. Okay, the source system will send the data as a header and body. Okay, but there is a no property, exchange property. Whereas when it has been received to the SAP CPI, here we will have an additional parameter called property. Okay, and body, which has been, these two are from the source. This is the additional, this is a temporary one. Okay, so these values can be modified and can be created or can be deleted or can be managed using different content modifier, different palette functions. Okay, so we can change these all things. Okay, so when you are sending after all the transformations, as per the requirement we have done the transformations, and we are going to send the transform data to the receiver, to the destination. So here we'll be sending the header and the body only. As I mentioned, this property is only used inside the iflow, so we cannot send this one to the receiver system or to the destination system. Okay, this is the purpose of the property. So it is used for basically for logic, what we say, for calculation purpose, or for any temporary variables need to be stored in the iflow. So for that purpose we can use the property. So this is basically what is the content modifier. Now we'll go and configure how we can fetch the using the different source types. Okay, so we have n number of source types, like around 7 to 8. So we'll see using one by one how to fetch the data. So the first source type is constant. Okay, so basically what does constant means, we can create here only the constant value, we can pass the data. So I'm taking const header as a name, and here what I'm giving, welcome, I'm passing the value. So this, what does it do is action, it is creating the new header. Okay, so next I will take the data from expression. So what is expression means, suppose you want to fetch the date. Okay, date header. So the system date need to be fetched. So for that one we can use an expression where you want the system details, date, time, message id, or exchange id. So those kinds of data if you want to fetch in the iflow, so we are going to use the expression system details. Okay, so the syntax will be dollar open curly brace date. Now, so it will fetch the exact system date. Okay, when you are going to trigger, so this fetches the date in what format you want. I want in the format of first the year, then the month, then the date. Okay, so this is the syntax. So basically this is an expression, so it will be in a date format. So what will be the data type? It will be an java dot lang dot string. Next source type will be an global variable. So the global variable means it is it can be used in different iflows. Okay, global var header. Okay, so this global variable we can use, this variable we can use in different iflows. Okay, next I will take the number range. So this is a number range. So basically where we use the number range to get the sequence numbers. Okay, sequence number, like if I like invoice number, it will start, suppose it will start with 0001. Okay, if that number is used for in the first transaction, so the next transaction will be 02. That number we can get the automatically incremental value using this number range. Okay, so I am going to go for properties for the other source type to explain. And so the header. So the incoming data to this content modifier, so that has an header value. Okay, suppose this is the header v1 we are getting from the incoming data. Okay, so what will take header, so content is an header we are okay, so this is an property. So what is that one we are getting the incoming, the content. Okay, so this is a header we are receiving incoming through incoming message. So it consists of header called content that we are fetching that value. Next is a local variable, like previously we have seen that global variable, right? So this is a local variable which can be used inside a particular iflow only. So suppose we have a local variable in the iflow content modifier that cannot be used into the another in another iflow, whereas global iflow we can use into the different iflows. Okay, it is not to the particular iflow. Same like header, if there is an incoming property, we have an incoming property to the content modifier, which we have used this palette function content modifier we have an incoming property that we are using this one, like property v1 is the property name which we have. Okay, to fetch that property value we are calling here. Last but not the least, suppose we are sending an we have an incoming body as an xml. Okay, which has an element called name. Okay, that will be having the value. So that value we are going to fetch here, and we are assigning to the name property. Okay, so for this one the data type will be the same, java dot lang dot string. Here s is an capital letter. Okay, so this is how the source types have. Okay, this is how we are going to fetch the data. So at total we have 8 types. Okay, so when we come to the message, so basically what does content modifier defines? It defines modifying the content. So we have here two types, one is constant, one is expression. Okay, so when there is a no expression like dollar, we have already used in expression source type. So when you are not using the dollar, we are going for constant. Okay, when you are using the dollar in the body, so we should go for expression. Okay, so basically what I am going to define is like dollar. So the expressions syntax remains same. Okay, but for the header, first we need to give the header, then dot, then what is the header parameter name. Okay, this is a syntax. So this continues here. Okay, dot, then so the in the place of comma we need to give the header parameter. So what is the header parameter name? We have this name, this constant value. Okay, so this is a header parameter name. So in place of commas we should give this one. Okay, So similarly, the same syntax for the property, the prefix will be property dot the property name. Okay, so I will go for another one, like property dot the content. So this one I'll take content only. Content. Okay. So content. So this is a message I have modified. Okay, you can see I have given the dynamic values. Okay, so the incoming body which you have, that one need to be uh, so what we are doing here, already we are modifying the incoming body. Okay, so if you want to fetch the same body which has been received by the content modifier uh, palette function, so the syntax would be dollar body close the flower process. Okay, so this is how we are maintaining the incoming body. Okay, so we are going to save this one. So here I am going to use this as an timer. Before that, we'll start simulate and check how configuration was. So I'm giving the incoming message to the content modifier. The content is an header which I have configured there. So this is a value, and what is the property name I have? Property v1, right? So this would be, okay. Then the body, what is a body? So basically this is a body I am passing XML data. Okay, so this simulation function is used to check the configuration over. Okay, so I have run the simulation. So here we are checking whether our configuration has been done as per the requirement or not. So if there is an any missing or error, can be modified before directly triggering the deploying the high flow. Maybe the simulation is taking time. I will directly deploy and will check the data. So I have saved this one. Now I'm going to deploy. So here you can see some error is there. So what I have given constantly. So what is that name? Constantly. So here I have given the syntax of the body, the typo error. This is an so this is the typo error. Now we'll save and deploy this one. Yeah, it is successfully running. So now we'll check this once with this one simulation. So here also we got some error. We'll see what is that one. So the constant header we are passing the welcome. So this is the system data you can see. Generated one have not given this one the content, the type, the expression we are getting the value date, today's date, the incoming. This is the property. This is from Xpath. This is the property one. This is the incoming one. You can see this is the header one. Okay, so we go for body. So here you can see the body, incoming body. This is incoming data. Okay, so the error is the number range. Okay, since there is an error like number range, it is unable to fetch. Okay, here we are using this number range, right? So that is unable to fetch due to there is no number range available in our system. You can see there is a no number range, so we are going to add a number range. Okay, so the starting value will be this one, the max will be 999, and the field length is 5. Okay, so this is a number range, it has been added. Now we'll go and recheck this one with the simulation. Yeah, you can see the message has been successfully converted, modified. Okay, this is the input message. Here you can see this is the input message we have. Okay, so this is a modifier, content modifier message. You can see the number range, it is giving 001, the constant, the welcome. Okay, in the properties you can see So here you can see there are two missing values. Okay, one is global varhand and another is the local varhand. So same as like number range, here you can see there are no variables. Okay, so that's why it is giving the empty values. So this is, you can see, welcome to SAP CPI training from JR SAP. Okay, so this is the output data and this is the input data. So this is how we will be my message can be modified using the content modifier. Okay, so the missing parts are, we can see there is an empty value here and empty value here. Okay, so for that one, what we do, so we need to write an variable. Okay, for that one I'm going to use another iflow with the variable name. So we are going to create the variables using this iflow. So here the type of types, so we have same types like source types like constant, expression, header and property. Okay, so here I am going to take global var. So this is the same value which has been used there in the content modifier. So the value I am taking as an constant, so this is an global variable. Okay, so this, to make it as global, we need to check box this global scope. Okay, next add. Okay, local var. So this also I'm taking, this is a local variable. Okay, so this is unchecked as it is an local one. Okay, so these are the names which I have already used there. Okay, so I'm going to save this one. Here you can see the variables are not available. I'll show once again with the refresh. You can see still not available. Once I deploy, these two variables which we have configured here will be created in the variable page. Okay, it has been successful. Now you can see once I refresh, we'll be having two values. Okay, here you can see the visibility, the global and the local variable is a visibility on the integration flow, and that integration flow is right variables. Now we are going back to our previous iflow, the content modifier, and once again we are going to run this one with the simulation. We'll see how. Okay, start and ending here, and here what is that content. Meaning property v1, we have SAP CPI, and this is the data which is the XML body payload. So this is the data. So run the simulation. The successful one, directly I'm opening the output message. Here you can see the global variable is not visible. Okay, where in property you can see there is not visible. Okay, so here you can see the number range has been incremented automatically. So why these values are not visible? Since I am using the I am using in the simulation one. Okay, so this can be viewed in the original trigger message. Okay, so what I am going to add this for this one, I am going to change the trace to see the values. Okay, so now I am going to deploy this one. So here you can see the value has been fetched. Okay, so this value we can compare with the variable one. In this one you can observe the properties. Still we have empty local value. Why there is an empty local value? As I defined, the local variable can be used in to that particular iflow only. Okay, so you can see there is a no variable declaration here in this iflow. So there is a no local variable. Okay, the one which we can see here, the variable that is visible only to the iflow of right variable iflow. Okay, so here you can see this is visible only to the this iflow right variable iflow only. So this value we cannot fetch into the different iflow. Okay, so for that one what we can do, we can write a new right variable with the local. So this is local variable to content modifier iflow. Okay, so we need to deploy this one. Here you can see only we have two, so when we deploy it would become the one will be added. Okay, so it has been successfully deployed. Here we can see the one more one we okay, so here you can see the two. Okay, the second local var is visible to the content modifier only. Okay, now as we have triggered this one, we'll go and see the message. In this message we are able to see all the values now. So here you can see I think one more time we need to trigger. Since first we have triggered this one was created, then it has been stored. Now you will be seeing this one. See the local variable to the content modifier. Okay, the header. Okay, and the global variable. So this is how the content modifier is configured and can be used to modify the data, to create the headers properties and modify the headers and properties.